Today we're going to talk about what are the different types of real estate investments. So what are the different types of real estate investments and which one is right for you? Well, by the end of this video, I will simply break down the different types of real estate investments so you can plow forward with confidence to know which one is right for you. I'll even share with you my favorite real estate investments that I'm currently doing in this economy. In this video, I want to help you understand why real estate is the vehicle to help you reach your income and lifestyle goals. I'll then simplify real estate investment into 5 different categories, but financially break them down into 2 categories. I'll explain those categories with real-world examples. And finally, I want to help you identify which of those strategies fit your situation and which ones you should consider in today's real estate investing market. If you're ready, let's go. So why are people so interested in real estate? Why does real estate attract so many people year in and year out as a tool for them to make money? Or an alternative for something they can do on the side to build an additional stream of income? Well, number one, it's the absolute American dream to own a home. Most people at some point, they want to own their own home, whether it's a condo, a townhome, or a single family home. That has been one of the goals for most Americans for most of their lives. Now, is that the goal of everybody? Probably not. But for most Americans, that is something that is definitely one of their goals. It's also a real asset. It's something that you own, that you can physically see, touch, be inside of. Whereas a stock or a cryptocurrency is something you might own, but to physically have it, touch it, that's not the case. Whereas real estate, you really can. It is a real asset that you have. And I think most people realize and know that it's probably the #1 wealth creation tool out there. And it has been for a long, long time. It has stood the test of time from early on. Everybody knows somebody who made their money, made their millions in real estate investing. And the other cool thing about real estate is as you grow your real estate business or you start to get more income producing assets, it creates the lifestyle that you want to live. To have the type of lifestyle that I want, I'm able to spend time with my family, my kids. I'm able to participate in my kids' athletic events, other school events, and some of their different endeavors. So it's been a great tool to help me live the type of life that I want to live that keeps me involved in other things that I'm passionate about. And it can do the same thing for you. All right, let's talk about what the 5 main areas of real estate investing are. It's mainly 4, but we'll add a 5th one just cause. So the first one is residential. That's typically what most people think about when they think real estate, right? It's a single family home. It's a condo, it's a townhome. That's where somebody lives. It's their primary residence, a place that they rent to house their family or their furry friends. It's where people call home. Underneath residential real estate, there's a slew of strategies that you can be engaged in, whether it's short-term rentals, vacation rentals, co-living, lease options, long-term rentals. There's a ton of different strategies under that residential umbrella. The second one is commercial. Under that, it's really buildings of commerce. It's commercial buildings where office space is rented out, or it might be storage units, an RV park, a car wash, and some of those could fit under light industrial. But commercial is anywhere there's a piece of property that's there for commerce, right? Commercial buildings. If you think of it in that way, it covers most things. You know, way back when, probably about 15 years ago, I bought a piece of property that was a lake and a campground and had some commercial ground attached to it. Now, the commercial ground was the campground and then about 15 acres just to the north of that campground. And the lake was just designated as agricultural property. And then there was a single family home on there that was zoned residential. But we were able to sell off the lake and the RV park and hold on to the commercial piece of property and sell it for quite a bit down the road. It was a great strategy, but it was interesting to me. That was kind of my first foray into commercial property and what was underneath that zoning of commercial. The next one is industrial. So these are factories, warehouses, distribution centers, manufacturing. And this is a segment actually I really like, light industrial. I think there's a segment out there and I've seen a handful of people that are starting to really get into this. There was a good friend of mine who got into this years ago. He has built and bought light industrial spaces where he's put even 1,400 square foot units there that people can rent out. They're rented out by people that have a trade, right? Electricians, drywallers, plumbers, framing individuals. And he's rented these out and made a really good profit, and it's very low maintenance. So I think light industrial is a segment of the real estate market that is actually undervalued, maybe even underutilized right now with great opportunity. And land. So this is agricultural. Strategies under this are land flipping, development, where you buy a piece of property, you can rezone it, or you could buy it under the current zoning and put some buildings on top of it, whether it's residential or commercial. but land is always a great tool when you're looking at real estate investment. Now, one thing to caution yourself with land, I bought some land back in the day that was not a good investment. I've always, since then, made the general thumb that I'm only going to buy properties that are income producing. Since then, there's been a little bit of shift when it comes to land. There's people that are buying land and selling off pieces of it called land flipping. And that's a pretty cool strategy that I'll get into in maybe another video down the road. But essentially, it's very low maintenance, right? Because there's no property, there's no fix-up, there's nothing. You buy the land, you divide it up, and you sell it as individual parcels to people out there. Not development, but maybe take a 50-acre piece of property, divide it up into 3 or 4 pieces of property, and sell those off at a profit than what you bought the whole 50-acre parcel for. So I know there's people out there doing it right now. Jack Bosch is a really good one when it comes to land flipping and done an excellent job. He's a great educator in that space as well. And the last one, maybe this 5th category that I just add on is special use. I categorize anything with a special use, whether it's a school, a hospital, a nursing home, movie theater, even though that might be considered commercial as well. But anything that has a special use is sometimes fits outside that box of residential, commercial, industrial, or land. Now, what are the 2 categories that we break income from real estate into? And I like to break it up into 2 categories, either passive income or a lump sum of income. So when we're talking about passive income, that is money that comes in every single month passively, right? Now, when I say passively, it's rent coming in. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything. Some scenarios you do. If you own some storage units and they're managed by somebody and is producing good revenue, you might not do a single thing other than answer a few phone calls. However, that income is coming in every single month. Whether you're working 5 hours for it or 20 hours for it that week, the money's still coming in. And those are things like I mentioned, storage units, short-term rentals, commercial leases, industrial leases. All of those could fit under passive income that comes in every month, usually from some form of monthly or nightly rental system you have in place. And I think this is such a good way to get in real estate. I remember when I was first looking to buy my very first home that I wanted to occupy when I was a lot younger. As I was just starting my family, I thought, man, I want to buy a piece of property. I looked at condos, but I thought, you know what? What if I bought a townhome, right? Or a duplex or a fourplex? I put an offer on a fourplex, got all the way to the 11th hour, ended up not pulling the trigger and not buying that fourplex. But my goal was to live in one of those units and rent the other 3 out and have the income from those other 3 units pay for my entire investment and eventually sell that over time and buy something else or build something else. And so I think getting started in passive income right away is a great thing. When we built our first home, I built a basement apartment just for that. I owned a condo. I fixed up the basement. I went from 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo to fixing up the basement. I then had 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. I was able to move out of that, build a home. I was able to rent the condo out for a nice amount every single month. And then we built our home. We had our mortgage payment, but I rented out the basement unit, which was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The money we received from the basement apartment and from the condo probably supplemented about 60-70% of our mortgage payment at the time. And so it was a great deal to have that passive income come in to offset the expense of our mortgage payment. And the other one obviously is a lump sum. Now this comes from strategies such as wholesaling, fixing and flipping properties, rehabbing properties and selling them, land flipping. There was one land deal I did. It was in Teton County, Idaho. I bought this lot that I thought, man, it's good. They just barely came out on the market. I bought it for $55,000. And this is when things were going pretty hot in about 2006, 2007. I turned around and sold that property probably about 4 months later for about $75,000. So I put some money down on that property. I had a mortgage and I was able to turn around and flip it for about $20,000, $25,000. And I looked at that as a lump sum of cash that was able to come into my business. And then I could utilize that for other real estate investments down the road. And so a lump sum, a lot of people focus on that type of strategy. They want to go out, they buy a home, they fix it up, they turn around and they sell it for a much higher price than they bought it for, including the expenses they put into it to fix it up. So those are the 2 different incomes we look at, passive or lump sum of cash. So what type of real estate investment fits your situation and is the best one for you? I always like to ask these questions before you answer that first question. Number 1, what are you passionate about? Are you a person that likes to do it yourself? Do you like to work with your hands? Have you done handyman services? Anything like that might give you an indication of where you might fit in the real estate world and what type of real estate investment might be best for you. Also, what are you in need of? Do you need a lump sum of cash or would you like passive income? Do you have a little bit of money to get started or do you have no money to get started? So by answering those questions will really help put you on the path for what you should do. If you don't have a lot of money, there's strategies you can do. If you have some money, there's obviously a lot of strategies you can do if you have some cash to deploy. But the most important thing I tell people is just jump in and start doing it. Find a segment that you're passionate about or that you like, that you find interesting. Start studying it, learning about it, and jumping into it. About 2 years ago, I became interested in storage units. And I didn't know much about storage units, but I started learning about them, started talking to people who were doing that, and I started finding out where can I find storage units that might be at a good deal. And I joined some Facebook groups. I started connecting with realtors, networking with them, and I found a storage unit in Illinois that was perfect for my situation. I was able to negotiate a really good price on a distressed situation and do a little bit of fix-up and turn around and purchase that storage unit that is now kicking off passive income every single month with very limited effort and time on my end. But what I did is I jumped in and started to learn it. And you can do that with any segment or any type of real estate investment. So let's talk about the current market environment and what you can do right now and what I'm currently doing. One thing I'm really interested in right now is the residential market with short sales. Now, there's something interesting when it comes to short sales. Now, short sales that we're seeing right now, or that I believe are coming onto the market here soon, aren't the same reason they're coming onto the market like they did back in 2007, 8, and 9. Because people had bad loans. It's really now because people can't afford it. With inflation going up as much as it has, the ability for people to pay for things that they used to be able to pay for years ago is not the same. The same money they make right now does not buy the exact same stuff they could 3 to 5 years ago. Inflation has gone up that much. And so a lot of people are experiencing the hardship of not being able to pay their mortgage. And so what do? They stop paying it. That creates a short sale opportunity if you know what to do. So that's a segment that I'm really interested in, that if you were going to get involved in real estate right now, that might be something that I recommend you looking into, understanding short sales and how to do it. And there's a number of great people out there that educate on short sales specifically, but really it's finding those pre-foreclosures, and their software. There's research that you can do to find those that are out there on the market currently, and some areas have more than others. The other thing I'm passionate about right now is seller financing options. For that exact same reason, a lot of people, like I said, they aren't getting rid of their properties or not paying for their properties because they got a bad loan. They actually have really good loans with really low interest rates, but they need to get out of their property. So there might be opportunities for seller financing where you go to that person and you do a subject to purchase of the property where you assume their loan, you take over the payments, and you give them some cash, or you help them out of their situation where they don't have to make that mortgage payment anymore. But seller financing options is a great way to get involved in real estate right now. So if you're looking for the different types of real estate investments to invest into right now in this current economy, my favorite ones currently that I'm doing are short sales and seller financing options. Now that's what I'm doing. I'd love to hear what you're doing in today's market and what types of real estate investments that you're engaged in and finding that are working well for you. And as always, just for stopping by and watching my video, I've got a free gift for you. It's a short-term vacation rental calculator where you put the data in, you put in the income, the expenses, and it spits out to you whether it's a good deal or not. You can find it here on this link below, aaronsfreetraining.com. Click on the link. It's a free gift for you. Once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.